Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the most exclusive UFC news. We all know UFC is full of action inside and outside the ring. As some gear up for physical fights, others are busy in verbal battles. So without wasting time, let's delve into the gossip. Jon Jones tribute to Kevin Lee. After the UFC 285, Kevin Lee believes Jon Jones' attire was a tribute to him. Jon Jones has been making a striking UFC comeback after his quick victory against Cyril Gane. Meanwhile, Lee also re-signed his contract in early 2023. Previously in their careers, the two players interacted a few times. One was a 2017 press conference where Lee sported a black and white shirt. Jon Jones recently showed up in similar attire for the UFC 285 press conference, which has got Lee thinking the other players paying tribute to him. However, UFC fans have mixed views on this. Twitter is considering the possibility, yet Reddit UFC fans are not convinced, with some users calling him delusional. Junkhead789 said, "Kevin Lee is so delusional." Daddy David commented, "I couldn't tell if he was trolling or deadass serious. Looked more on the serious side LMFAO, it's sad." Nevertheless, these were Kevin Lee's comments on the ordeal. It's hard to deny it at this point. Jon and I never really got along too well, but I see he wore what I wore to the press conference. That was nice. That was a nice little shout out from the GOAT, so I'm going with Jon. Yeah, pound for pound, he's the best. Further adding, he was at that, so he kinda liked it. I liked it too. That was nice. He gave some homage, paying homage. I respect it. Next, Bisping deliberates who will bag the P4P title among UFC's two big muscle machines. Bisping on P4P. Now, we know the pound-for-pound title is nothing more than a title. No belt or trophy accompanies it. But as Bisping rightly states, it is nice to own. On his podcast Believe You Me, Bisping acknowledged how the P4P title is. He further discussed which of the two fighters, Jon Jones and Alexander Volkanovski, would snatch it. As per Bisping, Jon Jones is the man for the title. He interviewed him in Australia and found him to be incredible. He also discussed how Jones changed his life from being a builder to flying in private jets. Yet he remains humble. So Bisping's vote is in Jones's favor. But only time can tell who ends up with the title. Dillon Danis versus Logan Paul. Or not? Dillon Danis took to Twitter to complain that Logan Paul dropped boxing with him to take up Darryl Till in a duel. However, Darryl didn't respond, hiding behind a screen. Instead, he addressed his comments in an interview with Mac Life, saying, "What's he on about Dillon? I've never said one thing about him. His little gang, his little mates from like Connor, I know all his mates from Ireland. I know them all. I get on well with them all. So what's he talking garbage for? I can't physically or mentally respond to the guy because he trolls everyone. For me, why would I even get worked up about a guy like that who pulled out of a fight with KSI? What am I gonna gain from responding to Dillon Danis? Like what, mate? Even with my last few losses, I consider myself a very good fighter. I wouldn't waste my time with a guy like that. What is that guy even about?" Colby Covington loses his cool with Jon Anik. Unlike usual UFC battles in the ring, Colby's battle was outside when he lost his cool over Jon Anik. It started when Belal Muhammad came on the Anik and Florian podcast. He went on to mention that he's earned his position in the UFC with his 8-fight winning streak and winning 12 out of his last 13 fights. He then mentioned his unfair treatment despite his ranked wins and 4th longest winning streak in welterweight division history. He further showed disappointment in not being mentioned in the title contention, with Dana White announcing that Colby is next instead of accomplished fighters like himself. He further highlighted Colby's unfair privilege by mentioning his 2 consecutive losses and last fight with Masvidal, who ranks himself number 12. So naturally, Muhammad didn't hesitate to call out this unfair treatment of Dana's allegedly favorite player. He also showed his anger by saying he would happily take a fight with Colby just to punch him in the face. Muhammad also claimed that Colby has been running from fighting him. He specifically mentioned his fight that was supposed to happen in London, where Muhammad's team didn't demand any extra money. In fact, he's up for fighting Colby for free, but Colby keeps saying no, which is fishy. And the tea doesn't end here. Twitter has all kinds of opinions regarding the issue. My favorite one was Philip Cadek's SpongeBob parody of Muhammad vs. Covington for the title shot. He wrote, "How the majority of MMA Twitter feels when Belal Muhammad should be getting the next title shot instead of Colby Covington." User Tyler Knoll wrote, "The fact that Belal Muhammad isn't next in line for the title shot in WW is mind-blowing. Colby has done nothing to deserve it. Absolutely brain dead." But every action has a reaction, and Colby didn't come slow. In an interview with MMA Fighting, he threatened John Anik's life for supporting Belal Muhammad. He said he didn't want Anik's kids to grow up without a dad. He further threatened that Anik lives in Boca, which is close to Colby's residence in Miami, so he should keep quiet. And Colby's roller coaster of rage didn't end here. He even responded to Leon Edwards' claim that he would refuse to fight Colby if given a chance, threatening him with, "You don't cross the boss." You can assume what you want with that, but I'm guessing we all know where he's coming from. Nevertheless, we'll see how this politics influences the next fights. For now, that's all the tea. I'll catch you later with more updates. Until then, sit tight and keep watching.